In this video, I'm going to show you how to find grants online, where to start, and I'm also going to share with you a $10,000 monthly grant, also a $25,000 grant, and also how to find rental assistant grants. Let's get started. Hey everyone, I'm Rindy from Ask Rindy. So if you want to get the keys to be able to find grants online and get help if you are in need, make sure you watch the video all the way to the end and comment below if you need help with anything. So there's an abundance of grants currently available, and that's also because there's also an abundance of problems currently available. Everything from health crisis to financial problems, people who have lost their jobs can't replace their income, domestic violence issues, homelessness, bankruptcy, you name it, we are facing it currently. So before I share with you 3 ways to be able to find grants online immediately for free, the first thing I want to do is clear up a misnomer that I think many people have regarding grants, and that is grants are immediate. Then that's not the truth. Grants actually fall into 2 categories, short-term and also long-term. So meaning that depending on the grant that you're going for, you may apply for it, and it may be a situation where you have to apply and compete with other people, or it may be that you don't have to compete. It's not a tedious process. But the disbursement of the funds can either come a year later, a few months later, or it could be immediate. It all depends. So based on your situation, you need to be aware of that, because when you're actually starting the process and putting effort into going after getting a grant, depending on your situation, if your needs are immediate, you need to be looking for short-term grants. If your needs are long-term and you're looking for, let's say, for example, business funding or something that you're going to need that you know that you're covered personally and you're covered currently, and if you get it, it's good, and it'll help you take your things and what you're doing, your business or maybe your life to the next level when you do get it. But if you have urgent pressing needs, you need to know the difference between short-term grants and also long-term grants. And so grants have been a part of how I've run my businesses. I have several online businesses as well as offline businesses, and I can tell you that my first encounter with a grant was years ago when my mom got a grant and actually shared with me she had gotten a grant out of Pennsylvania. And it was a grant that she received from some work that she did that was pretty awesome, as far as charity and also inspiring a generation of youth, people who have been disenfranchised. She received this grant, and that was my first glimpse and encounter into what a grant could look and do and what the impact of it could be on a life. And so since then, I've actually used and utilized grants throughout my time strategically to be able to leverage and grow businesses, one of which we started with $100 and it's grown into a successful online business. So most times when you're starting to look for grants online, you're going to find many services and many websites pointing you and referring you to your local municipality. So what ends up happening is that a search that starts online ends up offline at a dead end. Oftentimes. That's why a lot of people are frustrated with the entire process, and that's why there's so many unclaimed funds, billions upon billions of dollars of funds that are not claimed annually, because people simply don't know that they exist. So being that you're going to be led offline, the number one place to start when you're actually looking for grants locally will be your rent control office. Your rent control is pretty much a government program. They generally oversee the rent control laws in order to make units affordable and really control how the flow of low-income housing is facilitated in a specific area. As we know, areas that are either high-end or gentrified or basically sought after still have to have some low income included in there, whether they're buildings or cities themselves. So in my experience, the local rent control offices and the people that are in it are a treasure trove of information when it comes to grants, because they actually are dealing on the front lines of really dealing with distress and also dealing with what programs are available. So in my case, when I've actually gone through looking for grants for different situations that I've wanted to pursue, the rent control office and my contacts in there have been an invaluable resource for me, because they happen to know of most of the grants, things that most people won't know about. They actually end up happen to know about those grants, and they've been able to share those informations with me. I've been able to go ahead and apply for those grants. So having key relationships with people inside the rent control office can be an invaluable resource for you, specifically when you're looking to try to source grants and programs and and things that are actually not readily available to the public or online. You can actually find out through people in that specific office, because they are aware of different programs that are either offline, that off the radar, so to speak, that they can share with you, that you can go ahead and apply for. And I've actually shared some of these tactics with many of our students inside the academy of how to actually go about sourcing these grants through these rent control agencies and through these rent control officers who actually work in the office and are aware of these grants. So your local rent control office is the first stop when you're looking for grants online. You can actually just find them by Googling them. Google your city, go and then just put in rent control, and they'll come up. They'll have a website with a phone number. You can call the office and see how you can speak to someone there, strike up a conversation, and start the process of getting information on what local grants they may be aware of, and they can share that information with you, so that you can actually go to a website or go to a portal or make a phone call if necessary to be able to find out more details about those grants that are available. So the second place to look for when you're looking for grants online will be your local incubators. So these are websites who are involved in like seed funding for small businesses. They're involved in coordinating small business loans and also small business capital for businesses that are startups that need help basically getting themselves off the ground. Generally, they're always tied in with like an NGO and other nonprofits, and they're very well networked and connected. So these people tend to have a treasure trove of information when it comes to grants, and also things that are not only privately funded but also government funded or municipally funded, locally controlled grant disbursement programs. And to be honest with you, local incubators can be a huge resource for you, because they're tapped into crowd funds. They're tapped into such a large network of never-ending grant resources and never-ending grant connection. Now, your third resource for finding grants online would be your regional SBA offices. Now, these offices generally have not only their information online, they have for each region their phone number and also their address. You can actually give them a call and find out what grants they may have available, what they may be aware of on the government level, regional level, local level, and so on and so forth. You can actually reach out to them simply by going to Googling them and also going to sba.gov. Now, as promised, the first grant I want to share with you is called the Amber Grant. Now, this grant has actually been created by Women's Net, and it was founded simply with one goal in mind, and that is to honor the memory of a 19-year-old young lady, Amber Wigdall, who died before realizing her business dreams. So this is a powerful movement and foundation, the Amber Grant Foundation, because they actually give out $10,000 a month to a young woman that is actually realizing or pursuing her business dreams. It's a very powerful foundation, and they've been doing this for a number of years. It was founded in 1998, and every month they give out $10,000 to someone who is pursuing their business dreams. And the great thing about it is that their process, screening process and application process, is not extremely tedious. Like, as you know, with some grants, you have to pretty much give them your spleen in order to be able to apply for the grant, but this is really different. It's not as difficult to be able to apply for and have the potential of getting this grant. So as you can see here, these are the details, and this is how you apply. This is the website. Just go to it. It's called ambergrantsforwomen.com, and you can simply apply by clicking the button and viewing the application. The second grant, which is the $25,000 grant, is actually from the same foundation, the Amber Grant Foundation, and it's the $25,000 annual grant that was an extension of the $10,000 monthly grant. They kept doing the $10,000 monthly grant, and they wanted to keep the momentum going, and they just recently in the last few years extended it and said, we're going to give also a $25,000 grant annually to someone. And it's very powerful. You can see actually screenshots and the names of some of the recipients, so you can see that it's actually active. It's currently in motion, and it's something that is very powerful, and it's not very difficult to apply for. Anyone can apply for it. You really just have to share and show what your business dreams that you're trying to realize is. So if you're a woman specifically, you want to go ahead and take advantage of this and go after and see if you can get the application process started for either $10,000 a month or also the annual $25,000 grant that's available. And the third grant I want to share with you is the rental assistant grants. And these grants actually you can get and find by going to a website called needhelppayingmybills.com. So when you get to the site, you want to make sure you scroll to the button where it says rental assistance. And when you get there, you're going to see where they have emergency rental assistance, where you can select your city from the drop down and start to actually look at short-term crisis solutions, short-term crisis helps, see if you qualify for these. And also they'll point you into other resources and other places where you can possibly find rental assistance grants. And these are specifically for rent and financial assistance emergency needs that many people have. They also help you with emergency financial assistance for emergency expenses that you may have, including utilities, storage, food, things like having money for your security deposit if you're going to find a new place and you have to move. Let's say you've been evicted out of your apartment and you need to find a new place, but you don't have the security deposit. They have resources to be able to help you get the security deposit. So as you go through the site, you'll be able to see that they actually have all of these cities listed. And if your city is not listed, what you can do is actually click up here in this link to be able to request assistance directly on the website. So this website, as you can see, is a good resource because they have various categories that they cover, whether it's mortgage help, debt help, and on, charity assistance. Many people are going through things where they may need they may need help for food and other needs like clothing, displacement. So definitely make sure you check out needhelppayingbills.com. And in addition to that, we've now put together our resource center, and we're going to be including all the grants with our private grants that are specifically for forbearance. There are forbearance grants available. There's also rental assistance grants available. There's home purchase and home buyer assistance grants available. There are three right now that we're looking at. There's one that's a home buyer assistance grant for $21,000. There's also a forbearance assistance grant for $5,000, and also there's a rent assistance grant for about $7,000. And we're listing all of these in our resource center. We have it broken down by state. So as you know, most of these grants and needs are all based on the state that you live in. So there may be a $20,000 grant in Idaho, but there may be a $1,000 grant in New Jersey or vice versa. They're all based on the region. So in our resource center in the academy, you'll be able to download and find information on grants from everything from health to financial assistance, pressing financial assistance that includes mortgage forbearance assistance and grants, also rental assistance grants, also security deposit grants. In addition to that, financial assistance grants for emergency needs. You may need money for storage. You may need money for relocation, etc. In addition to that, food grants, shelter grants, homelessness prevention grants, and also domestic violence help and prevention grants. Those things are basically helping to keep the family units together, help make things easier for people because of the stress level and the position and crisis that we're currently in. So we've put and included all those resources, including grant apps that you can actually use to be able to find grants easily. We've made it all simple by putting everything in there from your city and state. You can actually just save your time, the stress of looking for it by just going and logging into our resource area, and you'll be able to see in your city and state what grants are available. And also, we've also included a grant matrix. So it includes the template and a guide on exactly how to really prepare yourself, what steps you should be taking to be able to apply for a grant. Because it's very simple. If you can actually rinse and repeat, you can apply for several and many grants. There's no cap to how many grants you can have because it's a grant. It's money that's given to you. There's no payback. So you can get 40, 60, 100 grants in a year. There's no limit to how many grants you can receive. So I hope that that's going to be a very invaluable resource to you. All you have to do is simply click into the website and click on school or academy, and you can actually go log in there, and you'll see in our resource center all the states, all 50 states listed, and all the information regarding grants that are currently in your state that we have available currently. And we're constantly updating this. So we're going to be updating this as we get it in real time. You know, if we're getting new information or new opportunities that are available on a daily basis, we actually refresh and we upload that into the system. And if it's monthly, if it's annual, whatever it is, we actually update it. And we also let you know of crucial alerts where there are some grants that come up and you only have a short window. Like I did do a video a few months ago on a landlord assistance grant that was being given for landlords that actually had units of three units and over. But that window was like a 2-week window. So sometimes you have to kind of pay attention to what's happening, and make sure you keep your eye on the academy. We will definitely send you alerts, whether you're in your part of the Facebook group or via email, to let you know of what's come up available immediately. So I look forward to sharing more with you guys. This is the first of many information videos that we're going to be sharing on grants and what's available for you. If you have any questions, please leave a comment below. You can also reach out to me, askrandynow@gmail.com. Until next time, look forward to seeing you guys in the next video. Thank you so much for watching.